When I was a little girl, my grandmother always used to tell me, as a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we must walk and walk again. To make a deep mental path, we must think and think over and over the kinds of thoughts that we wish to dominate our lives. Okay, no, I got that off the internet, but who cares? Anyway, I was thinking about this and I thought to myself, what kind of thoughts do I wish to dominate my life? Well, in order to find that out, I will first have to decide which thoughts I don't want my life to be dominated by. I have always thought that my life seemed perfect. I had to be happy. I have my parents, my brothers, great friends, good education, and money to buy all sorts of luxuries. Still, it always felt like I was only half living. Something was holding me back. Turns out, it was body shaming. When I was 7 years old, I was at a friend's house, and after having played outside, we ran in the kitchen and we asked her mom if we could have some chocolate. No, she responded, chocolate will make you fat. When I was 13 years old, my friends and I came up with these exercises to train our double chins away, which we didn't even have, by the way. We were also really terrified about going swimming with school, that during field hockey practice, we would run until we'd had these terrible pits in our stomachs. When I was 14 years old, I didn't eat for a day because I felt guilty about the cake I had the day before. I had to make it up to my body, otherwise I would get fat. When I was 16 years old, I did this really strict diet, no dairy, no sugar, no gluten, and while it was to get rid of my eczema, deep down, I hoped I would finally get skinny. These examples are not life-threatening, I know, and they didn't alter my life completely, but they could have. Similar experiences did change the lives of 100,000 other girls from the age of 12 to 18 who suffer from an eating disorder. I'm not here today to tell you about eating disorders and what they do to somebody, because that is not my story to tell. However, I do have a story to tell about self-objectification. Self-objectification is the process of monitoring your body from an outsider's perspective, picturing what you look like all day, even when no one is looking. Adjust your clothes, fix your hair, put some foundation on those pimples, push a bra only, and always hide your belly rolls when you sit. Self-objectification makes us think about what we're doing all day. And in this world, we tend to criticize ourselves because we don't fit up in these images that are profounded on us in the society. We live in a world where liking yourself is seen as a rebellious act. Of course, we're not born with self-objectification and body shaming. It develops itself throughout our lives. So the big question is, where does it come from? Let me tell you. Diet culture and fatphobia. I once read this magazine with, on page 10, a recipe for brownies. On page 11, a quick lower belly fat burning workout. And on page 12, an essay about how to love yourself. Marketing and media have serious influences on weight loss, our obsession with being thin, aka attractive, and damages our self-image carelessly. If tomorrow we woke up and decided that we really liked our bodies, imagine how many industries would go out of business. Would we still buy magazines like these? Companies like Men's Health rely completely on our insecurities, our self-doubts, and our shame. Bikini ready? What the fuck does that mean? You just put on a bikini and you're done. This obsession with being thin is because of our fear of fat. Fatphobia. The fear and dislike of obese people and obesity. This is the definition I found on Wikipedia, but I don't believe it's quite adequate. Because fatphobia is also the fear to get fat and the fear to be called fat, even when you're not. The fear to be called fat comes down to the fact that we live in a fatphobic culture, which teaches us that being fat is the worst thing you can possibly be. Calling someone fat has not only become a way of describing someone's body type, it became a way of saying a million other things too, and is often used as an insult. Fat means ugly, lazy, unhealthy, sad, failure, shame, while fat is just a word that describes someone's appearance, just like muscular or tall or blonde. And in this fatphobic culture, we not only tend to criticize ourselves, we criticize others. Take a look. And later on, I found this. Lately, I've seen a lot of comments on social media with like, get me a girl who can eat a whole pizza by herself. But as soon as she's fat, you're concerned about her health? I can be just as concerned about your health because you smoke, you are sleep deprived, you drink way too much, you never wear sunblock, and you always take the car. Oh, and you never drink water. When a person is fat, they suddenly lose all respect and dignity that thin people get to keep so easily. Calling someone fat is just a way to put your frustrations in someone else because you think it's an insult. And the fact that being overweight does not justify the reason to treat people any less. Everyone should be treated as a normal human being, despite of their looks. And by the way, size does not equal health. Surely, fat shaming and body shaming and self-objectification does not only happen to fat people. We all endure it. The greatest example is when you look at those paparazzi magazines. They shame and criticize perfectly fit celebrities for human things like not wearing makeup or weight gain or something else that's totally silly. When behavior like this is represented in the media, we start doing it in real life. I can't wear that. I'd look too fat in that skirt. Oh, she's not curvy, she's fat. Or maybe the reason I'm not getting laid is because I don't go to the gym every day. Because of this environment that we created for ourselves, we developed a desire to always fit in and to always feel accepted. And it's high time that we change this. I know as well as any of you that this problem is not that easy to solve. We keep manipulating ourselves by thinking horrible things about our appearance. So, what happens if we change that way of thinking? Introducing body positivity. Body positivity is a movement that was started a couple years ago by women who were done with fixing themselves for others. What if we stopped only loving our bodies when they're good looking? That would be like only loving your children when they're well behaved, or only loving your best friend when he's in a good mood. What if we refused to let the way our bodies look stop us from living our lives? Because life doesn't start when you have those big biceps or got rid of your cellulite. Life starts right here, right now. Be proud of who you are, not ashamed of how someone else might see you. Let's let this body positive mindset be the mental path that we will let our lives be dominated by. Thank you.